Hey guys, what's up? This is Haley Rumble. Welcome back. This is my night 2 predictions for SummerSlam. If you don't already, make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow. Let's get into it. We all know, I don't think that it is a secret, what match I'm looking forward to the most during the whole SummerSlam weekend, and that is going to be the main event of night 2, Roman and Seth, but we will get to that. Let's get started on the entire card. So, Finn versus Sami. I don't even think that this should even be a match, because I think that Sami should be a part of the night 1 main event with Punk and Cody, but nobody cares what I think. So, as much as I would like to see Sami win, I think that for Finn Balor, it has been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. I do not see Finn losing, just with his history. And also, I think that there might be eventually a story with Damian Priest and Finn again. Like, not that they're on each other's side, like that they're beefing again. And with the comment that Damian made at Cody saying that he's tired of seeing the same people in that spot, I feel like that kind of like leads us into that storyline. That's what I think. So I believe that we are going to get a Finn Balor win for that. Finn is amazing, and I think that Finn has definitely paid his dues when it comes to waiting for his turn, if you will. So I wouldn't be mad. Jesus. I don't think that I would necessarily be mad about him winning, because I do think that he, like I said, he deserves the win, but Sami got screwed over like no other. Sami got screwed over, let's just admit what it is. Like, I hope he joins the Bloodline again just so he can get his lick back, but there's really no other way to put it. Like, people were being a little bit biased because it was Punk, and like, I get it, don't get me wrong, I love Punk, but he shouldn't have never lost when he did. He just shouldn't have, and I'm happy it was Punk and not Cody, but now we have a Punk and Cody match, so what really did that do for us? If you think about it, what did that do for us? But like I said, I think we're going to see that Finn Balor win. Next up, we have Charlotte, Jade, Chelsea, and Tiffany. This is for the title that Rhea currently holds. They are doing an interim champion. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I'm a huge Rhea Ripley fan. You probably can't see because my Rhea Ripley stuff is on the other side of my wall over there, but Rhea is my favorite women's wrestler, one of my favorite women's wrestlers of like all time. She's up there with AJ Lee and Lita for me. She is my favorite women's wrestler on the roster currently right now. I think that she has dealt with a lot of BS and a lot of things and has really fought her way to the top. But with that being said, if she has this serious of an injury, she has a meniscus injury. I don't know how bad it is because they haven't really talked too much about it, but I can say growing up, one of my best friends since kindergarten, was an amazing soccer player, and she tore her ACL and her meniscus so many times, and it changed like the trajectory of her like soccer career. Like, she eventually had to get a cadaver in her knee because like she had to get her meniscus and her ACL replaced. I think she has a cadaver meniscus in her knee, but like, those are serious injuries that can have you out for a long time. And I am hoping that I'm glad that they didn't just push her to be back at SummerSlam if she wasn't ready, but I'm hoping that she takes the time that she needs to heal, because if she doesn't, then she's just going to be right back to where she's just going to be right back to where she's at right now, injured and out. And like, we can see what happened with Seth Rollins when he didn't take care of his knee injury. He ended up barely being able to walk after WrestleMania 40 and then having to take that time off. And I think Seth is actually somebody who should put his body first and doesn't, because he's such a workhorse. He is. He does it for the love of the game. But I think that overall, the wrestlers need to make sure that they're taking care of themselves. And I think that if Rhea is going to be out longer than like another 2 months, I don't think that it should be an interim title. I think that they should just have her technically relinquish the title and then move forward, which sucks because I feel like every time she does get the title, other than the first time she had it when she beat Charlotte for it at WrestleMania 39, like, she gets injured almost every time and it sucks, and it's not her fault. It is what it is. In my opinion, I think they're either going to add Blake Monroe or Lash Legend to this match, and I think that they're going to have either Charlotte Flair win the title or Chelsea Green, and I think it depends on if we have an update, like, internally. We're not going to know why this is happening, but I think that if Rhea is going to return sooner, they're going to have Chelsea Green hold it, because I don't think Chelsea Green cares about being called an interim and not, you know, having it for real, and I feel like that she has the ability to take anything and make it big, and I feel like that she could just harass the roster for a month or two until Rhea gets back. But I think if Rhea is going to be out longer and they're likely thinking about having it relinquished altogether, I think they're going to give it to Charlotte Flair. And I think Charlotte Flair deserves it. I mean, I understand why people are upset because they're like, they want to do this for anyone else, yada, yada, yada. I think that the WWE is just waiting to really hear, like, what is going on and the trajectory of her injury. But I do think that either Chelsea or Charlotte are going to be the winners of this. And I don't know what happened with the Charlotte and Jade story, but I'm hoping that if Charlotte does get this, then we can see Charlotte and Jade have their story. All I know is it better not be Tiffy, and Tiffy, no disrespect to you, but I didn't like that they had Liv be a part of Queen of the Ring because she already had the title, and I don't understand why creative has made an announcement, like, or on interviews. It got leaked, basically, that everything changed because of this injury, and that doesn't make any sense to me. Why can't Tiffy and Blake, which was the original plan, still have their match just because Rhea's hurt? Like, why does Tiffy need to be a part of this? Like, that, I just don't like when they do that. It feels like lazy booking to me. I said this on other videos. I've said this multiple times. It just feels like lazy booking to me, and I feel like the women overall deserve better, especially because the mid-card titles in the women division do not get taken as seriously as they should. For instance, on Monday Night Raw, we just had Sol Ruca lose her IC title to Raquel Rodriguez. Why wasn't that on the SummerSlam card? Why? Can someone tell me why? Why wasn't that on the SummerSlam card? There's no reason why it shouldn't have been on the SummerSlam card. They could have had that match there. It doesn't make any sense to me. Just like they're not having Lyra or Bayley on the SummerSlam card, which again, that doesn't make any sense to me. For this ladder match, my guess is going to be either Charlotte Flair or Chelsea Green. The next match is Dom versus Danhausen for human monies on a pole. So I love Danhausen, and I have always loved him. I love the campy, theatrical vibe that he brings to the WWE because I don't think there's enough of that. But I don't like whatever they did with him and Joe Hendry on Monday night. Felt like a fever dream. It felt like a bad trip. Basically, what I think a bad trip would feel like. It felt like it was just not good all around, and I would really not even like to go down the path of me talking about who they decided to add as a guest in that. Not a Ryan Garcia fan. I'm not going to debate anyone about it. I'm not even going to get into it because he doesn't deserve to have that. He doesn't deserve to have that recognition on this YouTube video, but if you would like to know why I'm not a fan of him, you could just go look it up. It's out there. It's a little disappointing that he was even a part of this all. I don't know what we're doing with Dom in general. I feel like they don't know what they're doing with him booking wise. And in my personal opinion, I feel like if it's not going to be Carmelo Hayes who wins Money in the Bank this year, Dom Mysterio should definitely win Money in the Bank this year. This is kind of off topic, but I'm hoping that either Dom, Javon, or Carmelo Hayes is who's going to win for the men's for Money in the Bank. But we will see. But Danhausen is going to win because Dom's cursed. Again, if they're going with they're holding this much weight to Danhausen's cursing, then Dom is not winning. It's going to be Danhausen because Danhausen cursed him. I think there's much more to say there. I don't know what happens from here, but I guess we'll find out. Next match is Trick versus Corbin. Corbin, what the hell? Corbin, what the hell? The next match is Trick versus Baron Corbin. Why did I just call him Corbin? I've been watching too much Love Island. I am just not really sure what we're doing. Again, with this, I like Baron Corbin. I've always liked Baron Corbin. I think he's a really good wrestler. I think that there was a missed opportunity by not putting him on Raw because I feel like they don't know what to do with Braun Breaker right now either. And if you remember before he left, him and Braun were tag team together and they were so good together. And I feel like they could have done something with that because let's face it, the vision is not, it's not working. I think that Maxine does add more of that wow factor to it, but it just seems like that Braun at least doesn't fit the vision. I don't think Braun needs a vision at this point. I think Braun should have a title or be in the works of having like a singles title by now. I know he already has had one, but I just am a little confused about what they're doing in general with him and his storyline. And is he with Paul Heyman? Is he not with Paul Heyman? Is Paul Heyman a part of the vision still? Is Paul Heyman not a part of the vision? He went on record to say that he thinks that because they have Maxine now that he doesn't need to be a part of the vision, which I get if Maxine's a bad bitch, so maybe he doesn't need to be a part of it anymore. But it's just a little confusing to me, and I think at least that would have given them something different for Braun to do, and there is history and a story there. But whatever. Not only that, but I don't think that Baron is taking this title off of Trick because Trick is like on fire right now. He has Little Yachty with him as his manager, which I'm obsessed with. Not usually a fan of celebrities coming in and interfering like with matches or being put in storylines, but if you know Yachty, you know he is a diehard WWE fan, like has been a WWE fan his whole life. He is at every PLE, all the shows, all the WrestleMania. So like I feel like that this is actually something that was well deserved, and he doesn't take anything away from Trick, which I think is the biggest thing. He just adds to the character, and the chemistry that they have together is just something that's really amazing. I love to see it. So I don't think that Trick is losing that title, but I don't understand why Carmelo Hayes isn't a part of this match. Honestly, I thought it should have been Trick versus Melo at SummerSlam, but I could literally, again, go on a rampage about this, and I probably will in a future video. What are we doing with Carmelo Hayes? This man is so talented. He is one of the best wrestlers in the WWE right now across both brands. Like, he is one of the best. He's so talented. He's the full package. He's good on the mic. He's good in the ring. He's a workhorse. Like, what the f are we doing? Anybody that man steps in the ring with, he makes look good. What are we doing with him? It is not fair that he had to miss WrestleMania. It's not fair that he was, the last draft that they did, he was the #1 pick from NXT to SmackDown. He was the #1 pick on all of SmackDown. Was him. Like, I don't think people are understanding that. He should be in a different position right now, and I don't know if it's a matter of he needs to leave SmackDown and he needs to go to Raw. I don't know what he needs to do, but if he doesn't get added to that match and doesn't get a match at SummerSlam, like, I don't know what we're doing, and I think that the WWE needs to think about making sure they book him properly so that he doesn't leave, because I said this on my last video, he should be in the type of position that Kevin Knight is in AEW right now. That is like a comparison of somebody who I think wrestles similar to Carmelo Hayes, and he's not in that type of position right now. So also don't understand why Ilya isn't around. I don't know what they're doing with him either, but I'm not even going to go there. The biggest thing for me is that Carmelo Hayes just deserves so much more, and I hope that he gets added last minute, which he shouldn't even have to be added last minute, but I hope that he gets added last minute or to this match. And if he's not going to be on the SummerSlam card, he better be on every goddamn PLE for the rest of the year, or I'm going to write my grievances in a letter to Mr. Triple H. That is all. Have Penta versus Gable. This isn't really like a popular opinion. I guess I was really the only one who felt this way when we did our podcast episode predictions, but I am under the impression that I think that Gable should win. I love Penta. I think he's an amazing wrestler. I think that he's had a really great run with the IC title, but at first I hated the El Grande Americano story. When Gable first became El Grande Americano, wasn't a fan of it, hated it, didn't like it, he got hurt, and when Ludwig took over that, I actually was like, okay, like, he respected the culture, and this isn't anything that Gable did. This wasn't something I think that Gable picked for himself. He was put into this position, But when the original El Grande Americano returned and they had their story in AAA, the last match they had was the best match I have seen, one of the best matches I've seen this year, if not in the last couple of years. That story was amazing. And we already knew that Gable could go in the ring. Like, he's amazing. He reminds me of Kurt Angle when he's in the ring. I mean, he's a friggin', he was in the Olympics. Hello. I think that that story proved that he can go on the mic. He can tell a good story. I'm so glad he's not doing this whole Alpha Academy thing anymore, because I feel like that just like really wasn't working for him. But I think it's time that he has a title. Will I be sad to see Penta lose the title? Yeah, of course. But it's time for Gable to be put in that position. It has been a long time coming. And so I am hoping that they make the decision to put the title on him, because the pops that he got when he got back from AAA and like resumed as Chad Gable, like it is finally like all, I feel like, coming together for him, and there's no better time than right now to put a title on him. So I'm hoping that that is what happens, and then I guess we'll see from there. And last but certainly not least, the match I've been waiting for fucking 15 years, I think it is. I'm actually gonna look up, I forget how long it's been. In 2014 is the original split of the Shield, and then they kind of had like their second split. They weren't together, but they had like a little come together type of situation in 2018 when Roman announced that he had leukemia, and then they did have their final match in 2019 called The Shield's Final Chapter, when Dean Ambrose, now known as Jon Moxley, he was leaving the company, and that was like their final match. But this has been going on. They debuted, I want to say, debuted November 18th, 2012 at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. So this story started in 2012 and has been going on. It is 2016. It is 2016. So for it is 2026, Jesus Christ. So for 14 years, we have had the Shield as a thing and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns on the main roster as a thing. This has been 14 years coming. This has been 14 years coming, and I've been waiting for it. So I believe that Roman is going to win at SummerSlam, but I do not think that it is the end. I think it's the beginning of the end of their story, but I think that it's going to be like a 3-4 part match series that happens because of how much they can do with this. Do they need that because it's such a big deal? No, I guess they don't have to do that. They don't need it. They could tell the story with one match, but I think that it would be smart for them to capitalize and really make this a big thing just with how much history there is. So Seth turned on Roman originally with the chair shot heard around the world, and then at WrestleMania 31 he cashed in on Roman Reigns, which was considered like the heist of the century, during his match with him and Brock Lesnar. Roman has not fully trusted anyone since, and in their promos, Roman points out, I don't need to win Money in the Bank and cash in on somebody at SummerSlam to get a title around my waist. I mean, he's got a point, and he brings up that Seth is always hurt, which he is, and then Seth has said, you know I'm never gonna be you, Roman. I've always wanted to be in your spot. I'm never gonna main event everything like you do. That's never gonna be me, but basically is saying I need to win this because I am better than you in the ring, yada yada yada. It's been going back and forth, and basically they have been just tearing into each other. On Monday, this like on the going home show for SummerSlam, Seth basically said, I can't wait to beat you and make you and your family upset and have your family watch again. And if you remember at the when he cashed in on him, there was like video packages of his family backstage with him, and I think it's important to remember that Roman had to fight his way to that spot in the top. Like, the fans were not fucking with him at first. Like, does anyone remember him getting booed out the first time he won the Royal Rumble? It was not, they were not here for it. So Roman fought his way there into the top, but there's like a lot of video packages they've been doing with the Shield and with the story of Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and Roman says, you know, my title reign of 1,316 days, because you know that I know that, it came to an end at WrestleMania 40 during the match with Cody, but Seth gets involved, and the moment that kind of, I think, is the turning point that kind of makes him lose track of the match that he needed to be focused on was him getting a chair shot back at Seth, which was like a huge, you know, full circle moment. He finally got to get that chair shot back on him that he's been waiting all these years to do, and it is why he basically, Cody was able to pin him and he lost his title, and he says that he would do it all over again. So there's like a famous promo that Roman cuts where he said, I don't have a button. If I had a button, or you couldn't find my button. And I would just like to say, I think that Seth Rollins is the only man on the roster who was able to get under Roman Reigns' skin and get him to that point. To bring up when he came out to the Shield music without telling anybody he was gonna do that, and Roman's face literally was like he looked like he almost shit himself when that happened. I think that was in like 2022. So this has been a long time coming, but I don't see, with their history, I don't see this being a one and done. I think that it's going to lead into, I won't be surprised if it lasts till Mania, because I honestly think the end of the Roman Reigns being in the position he's in is going to be, I think Obafemi is going to be one of his last matches, and I don't see that happening yet. I don't think that we're at a point where that's going to happen. So I would not be surprised if this Seth story leads into WrestleMania. I'm hoping at least, but my money is on Roman for this. I don't see Roman losing the title yet. I don't see that happening. I'm hoping there's no interferences. There hasn't been any interferences for his entire title run, so like, let's come correct if you're going to come, because people like to talk shit. But I'm hoping there's not here either. But I guess we'll see. So this is the match that I have been waiting for. And again, I could go on about, but I'm not going to. But it is 14 years in the making. Like, insert Shield music. If Roman came out to the Shield music, I'm gonna shit my pants. I'll cry. I'll be so excited. Please do it. Please surprise us somehow. I don't know, but I'm really excited, and I think that night 2 is gonna be the more exciting night between night 1 and night 2. But I guess we're gonna find out. So those are my predictions. I guess we're gonna have to come back and see if I'm right or not when I do a little recap after SummerSlam is over. If you're not already following me, like, subscribe, and follow, and I will see you next time. Bye!